Okay, I am the macro man. I'm a developer in the Cardano ecosystem, who is non-technical, not a software developer. All right, I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, but with all this technology coming out, I just wanted to be involved with it, and I started learning using these AI tools, and now I'm building. So let's build. So we're going to use Masumi here, which I've been following for a long time, and we're going to build an agent using their stuff. Okay, we're going to make this simple, fast, and easy. Okay, so where do we go? We go to the Start Now button on Masumi.network. That's their website. Start Now. Takes us right to the documentation. Perfect. Okay. Now, in this From Zero to Hero with Example agent section, we're just going to click it. It's going to take us there. And all we need from this is this section right here. So we need to clone the repo, the repository. This is just where the code's saved for a template that we're going to use. Okay, so we got that. Now we're going to go to cursor here and we're going to paste it. All right, nothing typed even yet. Boom. And now you can see on the top left here, we have a template. We got an environment folder. We got Git ignore, don't worry about that. We got crew definition, right? So this is the agent. These are like the little micro agents that kind of go back and forth and talk to each other. Already built into this template. We don't have to worry about it. We don't have to build it from scratch. And then you got your main file, bunch of stuff. As a beginner, who cares? You know what? I don't got to worry about that stuff. So here we are. We have our template. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to name it. I'm going to rename the overall folder. We're going to call it News Agent, right? And then back in our terminal, I'm just going to make sure that we're back into that. So I'm going to cd ... to get out of it, goes back one. And then we're going to cd News Agent. And now you can see it says News Agent here. We're in that folder as far as the terminal can see, right? It can see that, and we can manipulate it now. So we got our template. Now what's next? Well, where do we get the news from? Okay, so let's go back to the internet and go to our good friend ChatGPT. And we're going to ask him, what are some free news APIs? And an API is just like a connection point between data from something else. So what it gave us here is newsapi.org. A free for development API. Let's click it. Okay, so this can be our news source. And you can see there's a Get API key button here, and you will need that. But for now, we're on the documentation page, and this is all the information about the code, and you can kind of go through it, and all that stuff, endpoints. But I'm just going to leave it where it was. I'm going to copy this link. I'm not even going to read it, okay, because this is super basic, super fast, super simple. And I'm going to go into cursor here, and I'm just going to paste it, okay? We're going to paste that. We're going to say, let's make an agent from agent. I'll say, let's make a news agent from our template that uses the news API, right? So we're telling it what we want to do. We're telling it use the template, and we're giving it the context of the documentation. We're not analyzing and going into detail. We're just giving it a little bit of information on what we want. And by the way, I'm using Claude 4.5 Sonnet right here, the latest and greatest in AI. Okay, it is spectacular. And you can see it's like reading all our stuff. It's reading the API documentation. It's reading the files that we have. And now it's making a to-do list, and it's just building, right? So it's adding a news API Python client. It's making a news service. So it's making some files for us, right? And as a new guy, you don't really need to worry about the back end of it that much. It's more about, can I build what I want? And once you can start building stuff, then you can learn and you can get into specifics. But the beauty of the AI is we can just talk to it and we can create things in the real world. And you can see it's just editing all these files, right? You can see it's adding new code. Okay. So we're going to let it continue here. You can go check out the file, see all the changes it made, right? Execute to crew task, news service, right? It's integrating everything together based off of the template that we already created. And notice that I have not written any code. I've done some copying and pasting and I've written some English, and that's it. I haven't done anything crazy yet. It's even creating a README. And the README is just like, what is this, right? Like it's called README. So you want to learn about what this software is, you use the README. So it's cooking. It's almost done here. There you go. What do you think? We're at 5 minutes, probably 6 minutes. Okay. So it created a to-do list for us. It completed each thing in order. And now we're here. Okay, so it's going to tell us what was created. We created this AI, this news API service, right? Which has the API stuff in it. It edited the crew definition. So if we go to the crew definition, it changed them. This guy's now a news research specialist, right? We got a news analyzer, we got a news summarizer, and these are meant to work together with the API data to give you what you actually want. Instead of just one, they have multiples and they kind of pass it back and forth. Okay. So it even this guy even gave you the next steps, right? I'm going to hit keep all. So now all we have to do is enter in our environment variables. So we will have to do news API key, which we will get from that website we were on. We also need to add an OpenAI API key. And to get that, you just make an account with OpenAI and you get a key. There's tons of videos and stuff on how to do that. It's not very hard to do. You can ask ChatGPT how to get it. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to get the keys and then we will continue. Okay, so I am back and I put in our environment variables into the .env file here. I renamed it .env. It was .env.example or something before. Now it is .env and we have the keys in. Now, the last thing we need to do is we need to make it so we can run it locally without using the payment system and all the other Masumi stuff. So I'm going to write into our tab here and say, let's make a script. Let's make some code so I can run my agent locally for testing. And we're just going to let it rip. So while that's going, you can see if I do like Python main.py and then API, that will start the server. You can see, and that's for all like the payment Masumi side of stuff. But we're just trying to test the agent locally, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to make a test script, which it just made for us. Where is it? Test agent.py. So we can keep all and we can do Python test agent.py and we can try to run it locally. And we found an issue. You're trying to request results too far in the past. Okay, that is okay. So we can copy and paste this error into here. And we can say fix the API issue. So we can just, the first try, before even diving into it, just send it to the agent, say, what's wrong here, fix this, You can see what it changed. Changed a couple things from and to date. Yeah, it barely changed anything. Quick little problem. So now we can run it again. See if we run into any more issues. Holy moly. Okay, so now it's working clearly. Okay. So that's a lot of stuff. Raw news data found 3,489 articles. Jeez. That's a lot of articles. So clearly our news API is working. Right. So she's cooking. And it's passing it back and forth between the agents. This guy's the news summarizer. And here we have our output. Okay, so we just made an agent. The recent coverage of artificial intelligence highlights critical developments concerning legislation, industry, competition, and cultural perspectives. And it just went through all this stuff. And it's got the list of resources here. And we can continue to edit the bot and say, hey, I want more resources, like I want the link specifically. I want to be able to customize it so that I can put in my own prompt. In fact, let's do that. So let's just say, update it so it gives us the links to the sources and allows me to enter my own prompt. Because it just made one and just ran it normally. But what I want is to be able to put in what I want like a proper agent would. So we'll let it update. And this is the process of developing software as like an AI tool user, I guess you would say, is you need to know kind of like the basics and how a little bit of this works, but at the end of the day, you're just talking with it and iterating, right? You're just changing. And as you learn how to do it, you're like, okay, well, I can tell it this, but if it doesn't have, say, the knowledge or the context of that thing, then it's going to have a hard time. I'm going to run into a bunch of problems. So maybe I should attach the documentation. Maybe I should word things a little differently. It's really not rocket science. Okay, so it just made some changes. We're going to run it again. Okay, now enter your search parameters, keywords, Cardanzo, search types, everything. News sources, optional. I'm just going to skip that. So it updated the script and it has these fields that we got to enter, which we can say, remove that or whatever. But this is just for testing to make sure that the agent system works with the API, which clearly it does. So we'll see how this works and see our output if it changed from the original one. I was looking for links, and yeah, that was the main change, and the ability to put it in myself. See what it comes up with for Cardanzo. Holy moly. Okay, it did a bunch of stuff. So for some reason, it's missing all that agent back and forth. Maybe in the script it told it to hide it or something. I'm not too sure. But we have our output here. News analysis. Recent news on Cardano ADA. Emphasizing growing regulatory scrutiny from the US SEC. Shout out to Gary Gensler. 91 to 95% chance of a US spot ETF approval. It's coming soon. And here we go, list of key sources, right? And all the source articles. So are these real? Let's check. Let's open it. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's real. Okay. So we just made an agent, okay? We just made an agent. It took like 10 minutes and we didn't write any code. We just used the Masumi template and a news API, which I found by using ChatGPT as well. So a lot of AI, not a lot of expertise, not a lot of hard work, just a lot of like using these little tools and systems. So I'm very excited about this, and I am out.